Hi. Oh, turn that way the hell down. Holy shit. Okay. I know nobody's watching right now, but I'm just sitting here listening to music on my headset and going through cases, trying to decide what my next case is going to be, what I'm going to cover. Kind of have an idea. I'm really not wanting to stick into Indiana cases anymore. I mean, I'm still going to cover Indiana cases, just not this all the time. I feel like since I'm from Indiana, I've been a little biased on featuring mostly Indiana cases. I've only done one case so far that's outside of Indiana, and well, I guess I've kind of done two. John Dillinger, he goes out of state, so but that doesn't really count for me. I need a case that is solely from out of Indiana. So right now I'm looking up cases in Michigan. If you have any cases that you'd like to see me cover, please let me know. I'd really like to get cases that need more coverage, kind of like my Larissa Sam video that I did. I think it's important. I mean, covering everybody's case is important to me, but the ones that are lesser known, because I know not every case is actually on the internet for you to find. So if there's a case that you want to have covered, please reach out to me and I will cover it. If there's not enough information on like one specific case, and I might make like a two for one, so two cases in one for video. Some of them there's just not enough information out, by no fault of anybody's really, but that's just kind of how some cases are, unfortunately. Yeah, so right now I'm looking at Michigan. Oh man, it's always it's always overwhelming to like start looking at cases. You start just seeing how many there are. It's a lot. It's always a lot. A lot of missing persons cases, a lot of unsolved murders. It's just a lot. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday, wherever you are in the world. I have a little bit of free time today because the kids are gone. They're out of the house today, so I have free reign of the house, so I can sit here and I can live stream. I've not live streamed before, so here I am. um, hmm. Oakland County child killer. This is up in Michigan if you're unfamiliar with it. That's okay. So I know personally, I've had people reach out to me and they want me to cover the Belle Guinness case. That's an Indiana case for the most part. I think most of her crimes happened in Indiana. I probably won't cover her anytime super soon. I'll put her into the rotation, but I want to cover probably 2, if not 3 cases outside of Indiana, just so I have more diversity, and I'm making sure I'm not sticking to mostly Indiana stuff. There's a lot. There's a lot of cases here, and I know there's a lot of cases in other states. Like I said, it's a it's a tad overwhelming once you get into the weeds of it all. Um, hmm. Oh, you know what? I really haven't paid attention to Ohio. I keep looking at other states when I. Um, Cold cases really fascinate me. Some of them seem like they're really unsolvable, and some of them might really be unsolvable, but I don't know. I like looking at cases that seem unsolvable, and all the information is right there if you just look at it differently, or come at the information with a different perspective, then you can probably get a different outcome. Gather more information, I mean. God. You know what I hate? I hate people that abuse and neglect their kids. Like, I've said this so many times in my personal life. One of the easiest things you can do is not abuse and neglect your children. It's not hard. It's really not hard. There's no reason to drag your kids into your own mess. I mean, I get there's people with mental health struggles. I totally get that. I have PTSD and anxiety, depression. I get it. But there's so many of us out here with mental health conditions and disorders that don't abuse people, that don't abuse their kids. That's why it explains it, but it doesn't excuse it, you know? Oh, man. Especially after having my own kids. That's also what holy crap, I can't. I'll never be able to understand that. Oh. The website I'm looking at, it says famous Ohio murders, and I get it, but also, ew. Famous. I would not pick the word famous. More like infamous for sure. Abduction. Man. What I also want to hear is your weird cases. Give me your weird cases. In Indiana, 2 different times, and I think the late 70s and early 80s. I'd have to look it up again, but sorry, they're talking about Herb Baumeister in this paragraph. He's from Indiana. I actually live about 20-ish minutes from his house. That's man. You know what? It's over here. I've thought about going over, like, just to do like a little. I want to feature him at some point on the channel. I don't know when. He seems like that type of a case seems like low hanging fruit to me. I want more niche things. I know I covered John Dillinger on here, but that's only because he's my brother's great uncle, and it's an easy topic for me and something that I'm passionate about talking about. Also, like the amount of misinformation, like that's that's the whole reason I made that whole the whole video. But yeah, I don't really want to pick low hanging fruit. I mean, that's an easy way to get more subscribers, but like that's just it's not what I'm into. um, but yeah, I live about 20-ish minutes from Herb Baumeister, and whenever I do talk about him, I'll probably go over to his house and I don't know. I'll at least do like a little drive by and see, because I know the house sits way off the road, and there's another house that's actually closer to the road that's right next to the driveway. So I don't want to freak those people out or make them upset. Be respectful. Maybe I won't go over there. We'll see. But yeah, in the 70s, there's two torsos that were found on, I think Interstate, or well, no, it's Highway 40, like outside of Brazil, Indiana. So it's like southwest. It's a little bit east outside of Terre Haute. So it's pretty far south. Um, yeah, they never figured that out. There was a torso that was found off of a bridge that runs over a small creek on Highway 40. Never figured that out. Just a torso, no head, nothing else. And there was another torso that was found. Let me just look it up. So yeah, two different torsos, two different times. Relatively the same area from what I remember, but I have to look up the information. But I just find it interesting. Was that a serial killer that left these torsos? Just it's weird. I'd like to feature that on here, but there's not enough information on the case, so or well, cases, I guess. I don't know. Hmm. There used to, I don't know, like south of Indianapolis, like once you get into Morgan County and you go south, it used to be a dumping ground, basically for bodies in the 70s. My mom, my mom found a dead body in high school. I think she was just walking down the road. I'd have to ask her. Um, she thought it was a mannequin just laying on the side of the road. And this was in Morgan County, so it's pretty rural. A lot of bad accidents happened there too. Kids just speeding, not paying attention, thinking that they're invincible, and you're not as invincible as you think you are. Unfortunately, I see that with a lot of people, especially since we've gotten into the pandemic. People have lost their minds. Oh. Ain't no way I can't find this. So every time I try to look into the torso thing, I can't I can't find it for a while, and then I have to remember to find it. It's hard for me to remember where I find information at sometimes. I have a TBI from a really bad car wreck, and it literally rocked my brain. And all I can do is laugh about it and just push through. If I didn't laugh about it, I would just be sad sacky you know what all the time. And I refuse. I refuse. I don't want to be like that. So I cope with a dark and sarcastic sense of humor. That's kind of always been my way of coping. I feel like it just got worse after the car wreck. See, this is what I love. When you start doing research, then you start finding information that you probably wouldn't find going down traditional routes. Body of mother found along road near home in upstate. Darlene Hughes. Hools? I don't know. I apologize if I'm saying that name incorrectly. She was 28. Argos, Indiana. Where's that at? It's the middle of nowhere, I think. Town of Argos. This is the best thing about the internet is all the access to information you have, but you have to, if you watch my Dillinger video, you have to be very careful of where you are getting your information from and to, oh, wow. Oh, that's why that was familiar. I used to live near Argos like 10, 11 years ago. Wow. Yeah, that's just a blip on the map. Wow. Oh no. I'm finding another case I want to cover, but it's, oh no, it's an Indiana case. I gotta stop it. Go back to, let's go look at Michigan. I don't know why, but Michigan crime fascinates me. So does like anything in and around Chicago. I don't know. I swear it's not because of John Dillinger. There might be. No, there's a lot of really interesting stuff that's happened up there. Like, that lady, I can't remember her name. Dang this TBI. It's like I can only remember like bits and pieces of information. I joke and say that I have a Swiss cheese brain. I can't remember her name, but I think she was in and around Chicago around the 30s, maybe the 20s, but she was pretending to be a psychic, and she was telling people when they were going to die or that they were going to die soon. And well, she was killing them. Like, you can't make up that kind of stuff. It's crazy. What was her name? Oh, Tilly Kilmick. Oh, she's Polish. Okay. And she lived in Chicago. Oh, wow. She died in 1936. Did she die in prison? Tilly Klimek. Klimek? Yeah. Wow. Ooh. Ugh. That's not a time in history that I would want to live and die in a prison. 1936. Whew. She was 60 years old when she died. Wow. Okay. She killed 5 to 7 people from 1914 to 1921. Wow. Okay. Klimek. And she's from Poland. She immigrated to the United States as an infant with her parents. She married in 1895. But her husband died in 1914 after a short illness. Ooh, I bet she killed him. That's that seems to be how that goes. A lot of women from like the late 1800s all the way up into the 50s. I noticed doing like my pre-research before I even started the channel. Um, they like to kill their husbands and their kids, usually for insurance purposes. And I'm talking like this lady, like 5 to 7 people usually. And that's what happened with that Bill Guinness lady up in Lake County, Indiana. I can't remember. I know it's in Lake County, but I can't remember exactly where it was. Um, she did the same thing. She killed. I don't know if she killed her husband, but I know she killed all of her kids, and then I think she started running kind of like a boarding house at her farm, and it was in a rural area, so no wonder she was able to kill so many people. My gosh, she killed. They think about 40 people, give or take, and then she just disappeared. I think she faked her own death. See, I want to try to research that way more than I feel like a lot of people have dug into it. Because if I'm going to cover the case, like I don't want it to be like, oh, it's just another take on Belle Guinness, because that's kind of boring, right? I mean, like with John Dillinger, I had like new information to talk about. I had a different perspective to give than what you normally see on here. So yeah, if I don't feel like I have like enough good information or new information to talk about Belle, I probably won't talk about her on here, even though I want to, and I've said I will. Um, yeah, I don't like. I'm not really big into redundancy, even though I like listening to like the same song over and over again or rewatching stuff over and over again. Personally, I just don't like redundancy. Um, so yeah, this lady in Chicago. Wow, she. Oh no. So after she probably killed her first husband, she quickly remarried to a man that lived nearby her. Oh man. He died too shortly, as did her boyfriend. Oh no. Tilly, Tilly, Tilly. Like what possesses a person to do this? I I laugh about it, but it's mostly because I'm uncomfortable. I don't, and because the absurdity of it. Like you really thought you were gonna get away. You really thought you were that that smart and that capable. I wonder what she thought after she got caught. And so she was tried for murder against her third husband. Oh my god. Okay. So she kills her first husband. She gets the second husband. She kills him. She gets a boyfriend. She kills that boyfriend. Then she gets a third husband. I cannot. Wow. I guess when when he moved in with her, her neighbors were warning him. They said, "You will not live long." Wow. And then she even mocked him to his face and greeting him in the morning saying, "It won't be long now. You'll be dying soon." What a horrible thing to say. If somebody said that to me, I'd be gone. I would be out of the house. I would be gone. That's crazy. No way. Oh, wow. She knitted her own morning hat as she sat by his bedside. Yeah. This woman is unhinged. Wow. Her third husband died in 1921. Nuh-uh. She died. She married a third or fourth person. And looking at her picture, I don't think she looks mean. She looks like somebody that just looks unhappy with themselves. If she was alive today, she probably has like a mood disorder or something. That is a different level of I I can't even say that's petty. That's just a different that is a different level. Wow, she was poisoning her husbands with arsenic. That is a nasty way. That is a nasty way to go. Arsenic poisoning is no joke. And it's crazy how many cases, when you look at like at older cases, how many people thought they could just poison people with arsenic. Absolutely crazy. How has a movie not been made about this woman? Like, just I laugh because of the absurdity of it. Like when I was reading over information about John Dillinger and his escape from the Lima County Jail in Ohio. Uh, Harry Pierpont. Harry Pierpont came in with the other men, but he was the one that was kind of like in charge of getting John out. Basically, he did all the talking and the shooting. Um, the sheriff in the jail asked, where's your credentials? Because they're posing as Indiana State Police to get John out of the jail and to transfer him back to Indiana. And it's like something out of a movie. The sheriff said, can I see your credentials? Like he was going along with what they were saying. He thought it was a bit suspicious, but he was like, okay, well, I'll ask them for their credentials. And Harry Pierpont said, here's our credentials, and pointed two pistols at the sheriff. And that's it's just silly. I don't it's so absurd. Who does that? Like, did he watch gangster films and he was like, I'm gonna emulate it because I'm a gangster? And Harry Pierpont was he was a rough dude. He basically threatened John to get him out of jail, and Harry Pierpont ended up being electrocuted. He told John Dillinger if he wasn't able to get him out of jail that he would see John in hell. I wonder how that worked out for him. Somehow, I don't believe that he met John. But yeah, I'll definitely cover Tilly Klimek at some point because her case is just ridiculous. She died at the Joliet Correctional Facility on November 20th, 1936. Ew. That's just a bad time in history to be living. All the problems that we have today, I would pick this time period every time. I need air conditioning. I need better accommodations than what you would have in 1936. Darlene. Looking back at Darlene Hulse. See, a lot of these cases, these unsolved cases, whether it's a murder or a missing persons case. I don't know. Like I said a little bit ago, like if you look at everything again, look at it with a different perspective, different eyes. Because like with the Larissa Sam case that I just covered, um, she went missing when I was 22. Yeah, she's a month older than me. We went to high school together. Um, I don't. I was young then, obviously. So when she went missing, like I was concerned about her, but I don't know. Like I just didn't. My brain wasn't developed, so like mm, I have a different perspective about Larissa and what probably happened to her. Uh, it's better to go over things, to revisit things when you're older, just so you can have a better perspective, a fresh look on things, especially if you've had more life experiences, stuff like that. Stuff I covered in that video. So I won't get on my soapbox too much about it, but it's just good to look at things with an adult brain, adult eyes. Because my take on Larissa or any case 10 years ago would be probably a lot different than what it is now. And that's just what happens as we get older, you know. Your perspectives change, thoughts change, different information comes out, whatever it is that helps change your brain. Yeah, Michigan has a lot of high crime, which I mean that's not surprising. A lot of high crime, most specifically violent crime. I don't think I have to explain what violent crime includes. It includes all the violence you could think about. Man. See, what fascinates me with Chicago is, I don't know, if Chicago just feels mysterious to me. I love Chicago. I've only been there one time. I live, well, like, let's pull up Google Maps. I live like 2.5, maybe it's just 2. Chicago. I hate how bouncy my mic is. It's annoying. It just bounces every time I move my desk. Slightly move it. Home. Nuh-uh. I thought I lived closer than that. I live 3 hours from Chicago. I guess that's not far if you're okay with traveling, but it didn't used to be far for me. I used to would never have a problem with driving all the way up there, but our car wreck happened in September of 2021. And I've not driven a car since the wreck. My husband was driving the car and we got T-boned at an intersection while we were driving home after a family reunion. We'd been gone all day. We'd been on the road for over an hour driving home from where we had been at. We were like 5-6 minutes from our house. Somebody speeding and not paying attention blew through a 2-way stop sign on that approached a highway that we were on. Hit my dang door, sent my car rolling. I had a small mid-sized SUV. It's a Saturn Vue. I loved it. I miss it. It's so weird when, like, I know I mentioned a little bit ago I've got PTSD, so I've had a fair amount of trauma throughout my life, and like I I was not prepared for how much I would mourn my stupid ass car. Like it's the dumbest thing. I lost my glasses in the wreck. These are when I bought my glasses, these I bought these as a backup pair, and I have my other pair that I wore all the time. I never wore these until after the wreck. Then the wreck happened. And I lost my glasses in the wreck. I couldn't find them. I looked inside the car as much as I could. It was hard because things were shifted around. Glass was everywhere. I went to the wreck site. I looked. I couldn't find them. And even if I did, like we rolled at least 3 times, so they're gone. You know, it just sucks. Stupid things you don't expect to mourn. But was it 2021? I lied. The wreck didn't happen in 2021. See, this is the wreck happened in 2022. Wow. The last time I went to Chicago was in 2021. I think that's what I was remembering. So the last time I was in Chicago was in 2021. God, my poor brain. This is this is why I don't get on here. And my videos are so edited. Because my poor little brain, my Swiss cheese brain, it just doesn't handle thoughts well. So yeah, I live about 3 hours from Chicago. I wish I could live in Chicago. I do. I wish I could, but I'm here in Indiana. Yeah, the last time I was in Chicago was for the Hella Mega Tour. So Green Day, Fall Out Boy, Weezer. I'd seen Fall Out Boy. Oh my god, that was like the third or fourth time? I think it was the third time. Can't remember. It's hard to remember. My first Fall Out Boy concert was in 2007 when I was like 14. Something like that. Yeah. Then I saw Fall Out Boy again, I think 2009, something like that. I saw Weezer in 2016 for the first time with Panic at the Disco. They'd opened up for Panic at the Disco, which is kind of wild thinking that Weezer. Oh, wait. Was it Weezer? Yeah, Weezer opened up for Panic at the Disco. I think that's crazy. I don't know. I would think that Panic at the Disco would open up for Weezer, but you know, whatever. Oh, you know what? I was in Chicago in 2012. I can't remember nothing. I went to a Rammstein concert. What was it? I think it was like the Allstate Arena. I don't know if it's still called the Allstate Arena because it's been a minute now. Yeah, I went to the Allstate Arena, saw only that area of Chicago. Like we drove up there. It was the worst experience ever. My car broke down on the way up there. A really nice truck driver helped me and my ex that I was with. So we couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. We were so far away from our house. We were so far away and we were so close to Chicago. And it was getting close to the point to like you need to be at the at the venue. Get your butt there. So thank you, random truck driver man who probably will never see this. I don't know if you remember that. It's such a long time ago. But that was fun. But I didn't get to experience Chicago when I went there. So when I went there in 2021, it was so cool because I'd never been on a subway before, and I loved public transport. You don't have that here in Indiana. Like it's just there's no subway systems. I wish there were subway systems here. It would make traveling a lot easier. And if the Amtrak train still went from Indianapolis to Chicago, I would be going up to Chicago more. But you know, I wish I could. I'd like to go back up to Chicago for the summer because if you watched my John Dillinger video, 90 years this year since his death. So I've never been to the Biograph, and I really wanted to do that when I was in Chicago the last time, but we just did not have time to go over there. I did get to go to Wrigley Field because that's where the concert was at, the Hell Mega Tour. So that was cool. But it wasn't, again, exactly everything I wanted to do. So maybe if I can make it up there for his death anniversary, I will. I'm thinking about making him a coconut cream pie for his birthday on June 22nd next month, and going to his grave and, I don't know, cutting him a piece of pie and sitting there with him and eating some pie. We'll see. It'd be nice. But yeah, Chicago, I'm just rambling. Chicago seems, I don't know, it just seems so cool to me. Chicago's a lot nicer than Indianapolis in terms of, I don't know, like, again, the public transport, it's way better. And Indianapolis doesn't have that much. And well, I mean, Indianapolis it's such a smaller city compared to Chicago, so maybe that's also why. But I don't know, like the buildings, the history, it's so much more rich. And I think also being right on the water appeals to me too. It adds to the mystery. Like, people want to talk about the Italian mob and stuff and how bad they were, but I feel like there's more bad stuff that happened up in Chicago, you know? Like, Al Capone was pretty ruthless. I probably won't ever cover him on here. If I do, it'll be like way down the line. To be honest, Al Capone doesn't really interest me. Not like how Dillinger does. Like, Dillinger was kind of the exception when it came to American gangsters. Al Capone was kind of the poster child, basically. It just doesn't interest me. Like, I'm more interested in finding out where the hell Jimmy Hoffa is at than looking into Capone. And the same thing kind of goes for Babyface Nelson. I don't like Babyface Nelson. His own family doesn't even like him. His descendants, they got rid of all of his stuff. They don't want nothing to do with him. It's not like how John was revered and looked up to within his own family. I'll probably get pretty heavy into Chicago at some point. All of Illinois really fascinates me. Illinois and Indiana seem pretty similar. Like Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan in terms of geography and cases, kind of. Obviously, Illinois and Michigan have more cases than Indiana does. Indiana has a lot. And there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't ever make it to the news, which is, again, if you have cases you want me to cover, please let me know, and I will cover them to the best of my ability. I think it's important to get people's stories out here, to learn about things that other people have gone through, and to just be educated on all the freaking weirdos out here, because there's a lot of there's such a lot of people. And it fascinates me too, like what makes people do this, what pushes people to that point. I don't know, it's just fascinating, and part of me gets it, and then like a large part of me just does not get it. It's like I can understand what could push a person to get that angry or just mentally get to that point, you know? But I just don't get it. I don't think I'll ever get it. I want to cover more cases like Larissa's. she's got a little boy. I can't imagine how hard that has been on him to not have his mom around. I loosely follow her family on social media. I don't want to be like, too weird about it. Really, I just don't want to bother them because I'm sure that they've had a lot of people messaging them about Larissa and stuff like that. And I don't have any real help to offer, aside from making my video about her. Like I said in the video, if I could physically go up there and search for her, I would. But it's not feasible for me. Again, with the car wreck, I can't drive. It's mentally exhausting for me. I cannot drive. The car wreck really screwed up my vestibular system, so it makes me dizzy. I can't tell how fast we're going in the car. Like 30 miles per hour feels like we're going 60 miles per hour. And then the more I look out the window while we're moving, seeing stuff go past the window, I get dizzy. I get dizzy and I cannot look. So I can't drive a car to go up to Michigan to do that. I wish I could. And then on top of that, my health issues. I can't be walking around. No freaking way. I wish I could. Part of me regrets not doing it like 10 years ago when she initially went missing, but I didn't know my health was going to tank in the years to come. I can't imagine having somebody that I love and care about go missing and then just you don't know where they're at. You have a general idea, maybe, but that is a pain I wouldn't wish on anybody. I think that's probably what I'm going to do is take a deep dive into unsolved missing persons cases and try my best to shed some more light onto them. So I don't know. I think it's one thing to have a murdered loved one like that. That's a lot to deal with, but to have somebody that just vanishes off the face of the planet and they've been missing for years and years and years, man, I would just feel so bad. That's why I want to try to help as much as I can sitting from my computer because it's about all I can do. So, and all I can think about is missing cases from Indiana. Like, I will cover Lauren Spear. Her and I actually share a birthday, but she's a couple years older than me. Now, that case, I feel like that case could be solved very easily, but people don't want to talk. People don't want to talk. And if you look at where these people were last at, who they were last with, their last activity, that usually tells you what you're looking for, even if it's not what you want to hear. That's the other thing. Some of these cases, I get the families are grief stricken, but you got to look at the facts and you got to go where the facts lead you, even if it's a uncomfortable area. And I'm looking at the map right now for Bloomington, Indiana, because that's where she went missing from. And there's it's it's heavily wooded. It is a heavily wooded area, bodies of water. And there's a lot of people that have gone missing down there and just unsolved deaths, stuff like that. A lot of places to hide a body. People used to think that they probably put her in Lake Monroe, but I think about it. She's been gone, God, since 2012. Lauren. She's not even from Indiana. I think she's from New York State. She went missing in 2011. Holy crap. I feel so bad for her parents. That's something that would eat me up too. Yeah, she's from New York State, Scarsdale, New York. She's been missing for 12 years, 11 months, and 16 days. I know there's older missing persons cases. There's older ones, but Lauren's case, the evidence that you have, man, it seems like it's a no-brainer, but nothing has ever come of it. And there's still missing persons posters down in Bloomington. Like once you get to Martinsville, so Martinsville is before you get to Bloomington, and Martinsville's in Morgan County, and Bloomington is in Monroe County, I think. It's not in Morgan. But yeah, once you get to Martinsville, you keep going south, missing persons posters are still up, and some of them are the original ones that were put up when she went missing in 2011. Like let that sink in. There's still original posters for her missing at IU down in Bloomington. It's so sad. Yeah, she was born. Lauren Spear was born January 17th, 1991. I was born January 17th, but a couple of years after that. I think that's, I don't know, part of the reason why her case has always stood out to me. I was, what year was I in? I was in high school when she went missing. I was going into my senior year when she went missing. She was enrolled at Indiana University in Bloomington to study textiles and merchandising. She was active in the Jewish community at IU and spent the previous spring planting trees in Israel on behalf of the Jewish National Fund. She seems like a really sweet girl. There's video footage of her last moments, basically. She was out partying. She had a heart condition too, which people think that, maybe she was out partying and that led to her heart giving out, basically. And she succumbed to her health conditions because of what she was putting in her body. There's nothing to support that, though. And people think that there was a stranger abduction. I don't think that. She was with a bunch of guys when she went missing. Now, I know not all men are going to hurt you. I don't believe that. But you have to look at who she was with right before she went missing. And she just so happened to be with a group of men. So look at them. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, they were at a bar. They were going back and forth between people's apartments. They had gone to Kilroy's sports bar. I'm pretty sure that's on like a corner. And I think there's video footage of her getting in someone's car. Yeah, but when you think about Indiana mysteries, I would say Lauren Spear is probably she's probably like the biggest one left, or at least the most well known. For me, between her and Larissa, those are really the two biggest ones. So yeah, let's look at a timeline here. So Lauren Spear went missing on June the 3rd, 2011. She was 20 years old. She went missing out of Bloomington, Indiana. Again, she's been missing for 12 years, 11 months, and 16 days. At 12:30 in the morning, she's reported by witnesses that she had left her apartment with a friend. And then they went to that friend's apartment to meet up with another friend and the friend's neighbor. At 1:46 in the morning, she's caught on surveillance footage at Kilroy's sports bar. At 2:27 in the morning, she's also caught on surveillance. She's seen exiting the bar. She left her cell phone, her shoes, I thought she left something else. I guess, okay. I guess all she left was her cell phone and her shoes at the bar. She had taken off her shoes when she walked out onto the sand-covered patio, and her friends accompanied her. At 2:30 in the morning, she's seen entering Smallwood Plaza Apartments, where she lived at, is where her apartment was at. A passerby noticed her and noticed how intoxicated she was and asked if she was okay. By 2:48 in the morning, she's seen on surveillance again. This time she's leaving her apartment. She entered an alleyway and she runs between College Avenue and Morton Street. Security cameras then notice that she's leaving that alleyway at 2:51 in the morning and walks towards an empty parking lot. Her keys and her purse were found along the route that she took in the alleyway. Spear and her friend from earlier, they arrived at his apartment shortly afterwards. Wow, the guy that she was with was so intoxicated that he was stumbling and he threw up all over the carpet on the way upstairs to his apartment. Some other girl was there and she escorted him to his bed. And she tried to persuade Spear to sleep over for her own safety, and Spear didn't want to do that. She wanted to return to her own apartment. I can't say I would blame her. I feel like I would probably be very much the same way. I don't drink though. And it seems like she went back to her apartment and maybe went back. What? It seems like Spear was trying to get this other girl to drink with her, and the other girl was like, "No, I'm not. You need to go to bed, girl. It's 3:00 in the morning." It seems like that other girl was trying to be a good friend, and Spear was, I don't know, maybe she was just too intoxicated to, I can't really fault her for that. I get not wanting to be at other people's places when you're just trying to crash in general. 4:30 in the morning, she leaves that guy's apartment. And that's the last sighting of her. She's seen on surveillance footage barefoot and at the intersection of 11th Street and College Avenue, heading south on College Avenue. Yeah, I remember seeing that footage being played all the time when she went missing. Several hours later, somebody sent a message to her phone, but her phone was at the bar, and somebody at the bar replied. And then she was reported missing. They searched landfills. Wow. I can't remember that. Wow. They received over 3,000 tips when Lauren went missing, with none of them turning up Lauren, apparently. In April of 2015, the Bloomington police announced that they were investigating a possible link between Spears' disappearance and the murder of another IU student, Hannah Wilson, after Wilson went missing in April of 2015 after visiting Kilroy's, which was the last place pretty much that Lauren was at before she went to that apartment. But Wilson's body was found the next morning in Brown County. A local man was arrested for the murder after his cell phone was discovered near her body. Wow. He was in a rush. good on him though to be in such a rush. I laugh, but again, like it's the absurdity that I'm laughing at. I'm not laughing at anything else. I wonder if he hadn't left his cell phone there, would they have been able to figure it out? That's ugh. That's so scary. On January 28th, 2016, the FBI and other police agencies investigated a property on Morgantown Road in Martinsville. Wow. I don't remember this either. I must not have. I was out of the loop. They were following up on leads in Morgan County regarding the disappearance of Lauren. The property was connected to a man who resides there with his mother and stepfather. Wow. Who is this guy? How old is he? What? The police were investigating this guy initially because he had been exposing himself to women down in the Brown County area and in Morgan County. I do remember hearing about that. So what makes people do that too? People are just people are weird. You don't need to do that. Wow, they went into his property with cadaver dogs, which indicated potential evidence. Anthropologists conducted a dig and sifted through the dirt from a barn where the cadaver dogs hid at, but they found nothing. Investigators also they towed a white truck from the property belonging to the guy that they were searching. That's it doesn't seem like Bloomington has gotten any closer to figuring out who the heck took Lauren Spear. Which just seems her parents did file a civil lawsuit against the guy that she was hanging out with that night, and that she was going back to his apartment to. They accused him of negligence, alleging that they supplied Spear with alcohol after she was already visibly intoxicated. And she's 20. She shouldn't have been drinking to begin with, but it's a college town, and boy, do they like to party down in Bloomington. She's young. She's away from home. Of course, she's probably going to be drinking. It's not surprising. And it sounds like at least Beth was trying to help her, but she didn't want the help. So, how much can you make somebody not do something? If she's wanting to do it, then she's going to want to do it. You can't really stop her unless you physically pick her up and then put her away somewhere, which probably also would have caused problems. So with Lauren, there's really only two ways that could go. Either something happened with that guy, even though it sounds like he was probably too intoxicated. I don't know. I don't feel like I don't know. Lauren's case is just so, and her parents were suing that guy for giving her alcohol. He's not a bar. He's not legally required to not serve her if she's too intoxicated. That's completely different. I feel so bad for her parents because they're just grieving. They are deeply in grief. And I feel for them. I can't imagine my kid going away to college and not coming back. Never coming back. I think that was I don't know. What year was she in? Wow. These, oh, was Beth a guy? I'm sorry. I'm reading this. Yeah, think about too being 20, being away from home from the first time, or even if you were still staying at home, just the freedom that you could have at 20 and go hang out with your friends late at night, stuff like that. I How can you fault the friends for your daughter wanting to drink more? They tried to get her to stop, and again, like I said, if you if you want to drink, you're going to drink. You can't make somebody stop doing what they're doing unless you physically stop them from doing that, and that wouldn't have been right. What are they supposed to do? Tie her up and make her not drink? It just yeah, they think it's her or their fault somehow, even though they weren't a bar and they told her not to drink and they told her to stay with them. The federal judge struck down the motion and said that there could be any number of theories as to what happened to Lauren and what, if any, injuries she may have sustained. I don't think that she just wandered off and died. I don't think that she wandered off and had an accident either. I no, there's no way. Either the last people that she was with did something to her, which I think is unlikely, or something happened when she walked out of that apartment. So that just kind of leads us back to the stranger abduction. Police have acknowledged that they have not ruled out other possibilities such as an abduction by a stranger, but they also don't seem to be looking into it that hard. I don't know. At least publicly they aren't. And they could be working a lot harder behind the scenes and not talking about it publicly. That happens a lot. I think it's funny when when new cases happen and people get so mad that the police are not being transparent with the public. They don't have to be. Like we're not entitled to that. The only people that are entitled to know what the heck is going on with the case are the people that are tied to the case. So like i.e. the family, prosecutors, law enforcement, those people. But the general public, no, we have no right. We're just voyeurs. All of us are just voyeurs. I and people think that it's suspicious too. They always want to think that things are suspicious when they're not. Just let people do their jobs. If they're not doing their job, sure, call it out. But my gosh, there's no need to think that everything is a conspiracy theory or the police are trying to cover things up or they're dropping the ball. It happens, but it's not all the time. And that seems to be kind of a lot of people's thinking anymore. They aren't doing enough. They aren't doing enough. Just because they aren't releasing that information to the public doesn't mean that they aren't. It just means they aren't releasing that information to the public. And probably rightfully so, given how a lot of people go overboard nowadays. I said it in one of my videos. Post pandemic, people have been acting crazy. Well, maybe it's because we were locked up. We were locked up and everybody lost their minds. I don't know. People think it's okay to act a certain way, and it's just not. Yeah. Paige Ranowski. Some of these cases are like this one, Brittany Shank. She went missing in Sturgis, Michigan. I thought that the location interested me because Sturgis, the bike bike rally, or I think I'm not. Can you tell? I don't know. But I know they have that big gathering up in Sturgis, Michigan. Ah, here we go. Figured it out. It's my first live stream. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So this is Brittany. She was a loving mother of 4 who vanished in 2018. See, cases like this, missing moms, of course, that's gonna pull at my heartstrings. But reading over stuff about Brittany, it seems like she didn't have. I don't think she had custody of her children. It seems like she had a lot of problems going on in her life, and I think it seems like she was trying to make a turnaround. But that shouldn't matter. The fact that she's missing is what should matter. People struggle with all kinds of stuff, mental health, addiction. Usually, they go hand in hand. That's just 2018. She's got 4 kids. I don't think she's missing. You know what I mean? She's not here anymore. That is what I mean. She was hanging out with some guy the day she went missing. Well, see, this is what intrigued me when I was reading over her case the other day. She had borrowed her boyfriend's car and was driving on the night of November 30th, 2018. But then she crashed the car. It was in a heavily foggy area, and she was disoriented. Oh. The area in which she went missing into is, I looked it up on Google. Where's Sturgis? So I'm pulling it up. Where's it at? Okay. She went missing the 300,000 block of Fawn River Road. Hold on. Yeah, the area that this girl went missing in is just, it's odd. Her cell phone last pinged at an intersection that is, it's very rural. So my inclination is to look at the people nearby, the houses, because there's not that many houses out there either. That's the other thing that I think is really freaking odd. Let me see. So I found the address, or the information for basically the intersection of where her phone last pinged at, which I also find interesting, because if her cell phone last pinged there, okay, so her cell phone got shut off. Why did her cell phone get shut off? Who shut off her cell phone? Good questions. This poor girl. She was only 23 when she went missing. She's got 4 kids at 23. I know she didn't have custody of her kids. Ugh, that doesn't mean that they don't need her in their life or that they don't miss her. I don't know what led to her losing custody of her kids, but I don't think it should matter. And there's a good amount of information. It's very similar to Larissa, just disappearing, and there's a lot of interest in the case. And for like the first year or so, there's articles out. It's not like they're not trying, but there's just not enough information on what happened. When was this article made? Wow. Okay, this article came out in November 2023. His last updated December 2nd of 2023. So they just basically put out this article like 6 months ago on the anniversary of her going missing. Yeah. So she wrecked her car at like 9:30, well, her boyfriend's car at 9:30 at night. And then she showed up at a neighbor's house asking to call 911 after she got into the wreck. She wasn't wearing socks or a coat, and this guy gave her a green army coat. "5 full years without a single solid lead," her brother said. The first 5 years were really tough. It was always like, "Oh, is she coming back? Are they going to find her?" That's so sad. And see, that's the other reason why missing persons cases hit me a little harder than like an unsolved murder case does, because it's one thing to, again, to grieve the loss of a person. You know, with a murder, you have a body. You can bury them. You can grieve them. But with a missing persons case, you don't know. You don't know, and you're just a void. A void is left. And what do you do? You know, what do you do when you can't find somebody? Dang it. I accidentally closed my tab. I just want the location. Maybe it's on this article. I don't think it is. I'm just gonna look on 300,000 block. East Fawn Road. Was this it? No. Is this it? No. I went too far. I'm almost there. Okay. Where's the intersection? Where's the intersection? Yeah, it seems like Brittany had some mental health struggles, that's what makes this even more painful to look over, because I don't know. I root for people, hope that they'll change and do better, grow as people. So I try not to, cases like this and Larissa, like, I don't want to victim blame. 300,000 block. I can't remember where I saw. That's annoying. Okay. Okay, let's look at Google Maps. So she was last seen. She was driving down this road. So here's Sturgis, Michigan. Here we are. There's the Michigan line, Indiana. 300,000 block. Oh, is it not? Okay, there we go. I'm trying to look for the house numbers. So she was roughly in this area. What's your house number? Isn't that interesting? It must be this. And so when I looked at it the other day, I had this intersection pulled up. So this is roughly the last area where she was at. It's pretty rural. So somebody, I know she was incapacitated a little bit when she showed up at that person's house after her wreck, but oh wait, I'm in the wrong spot, I'm in the wrong spot. Just no, that's too far. Okay. Maybe it was somewhere around here. I don't know. Somewhere between here and here, I think, is where. Yeah, she must have had a wreck at. That's one of these neighbors. She went to their house. It's a heavily wooded area. Lots of bodies of water. Somebody local probably took her, would be my guess. Because nothing else makes sense to me. I mean, her last cell phone ping was like in this general area after her car wreck. And that guy went and gave her like a green army coat. And I think by the time he walked inside to get his phone so she could call 911 and he came back, she was gone. He has no idea where she went, and she's not been seen or heard from ever since. And like I said, she's got 4 kids, and just because she didn't have custody of them, that shouldn't mean anything. I don't. It puts a really bad taste in my mouth when I hear a mom has been gone, and she's been gone for 5 years. Something ain't right. Yeah. She's probably somewhere. I say somewhere in this general area, or they picked her up and they took her somewhere. Somebody took advantage of her while she was incapacitated, obviously. I want to go look at, oh gosh, where's it at? I'm not familiar with Michigan. I only started really looking at Michigan after I started looking into Larissa's case more. Because, holy crap, I don't even remember. I think it's over here. Where's it at? Oh, man. I don't even see anything that looks familiar. Oh, well. Okay. Let's look at other people. Let's see. Yeah, so Brittany's case, I'm going to write her name down. So everything I get interested in, I'll write it down. So I do like a general like perusing of cases and information, write it down, then I go back and revisit it, gather as much information as I can, and then some. Brittany Shank. Okay, let's get out of Michigan. Let's get the hell out of Michigan. um, hmm. I tell you what, I was looking up the other day. The Villisca Axe murders. That one's interesting to me. I don't think anybody's probably going to solve that, and it's too old of a case. But it is interesting. That's Missouri. Missouri. Looking at Missouri. Iowa, Wisconsin. Let's look at Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Oh, God. That's what I'll do on here is feature mostly missing persons cases. Famous Wisconsin murders. Oh. The Sodder children. Tell me more. It's a 1945 abduction. You know what's disgusting when you start looking into these older, you get into like the older cases. A lot of people murdering their kids. Seems like things don't change. West Virginia. Christmas Eve. What? You know what? I think I've heard of the Sodder children. On Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1945, a fire destroyed the Sodder residence in Fayetteville, West Virginia. Where the hell? West Virginia, take me home. I just need to leave Google Maps open. Fayetteville. Wait. Yeah. It's pulling up Fayetteville, North Carolina. That ain't where I'm looking. It's West Virginia. How close to Kentucky are y'all? Oh, not close. I've got family that's from the Appalachia area down in Kentucky. Down from Pine Top. I needed subtitles to understand when my grandpa was talking. It was a very, very thick Kentucky Appalachian accent. I still got some family that's down there. My papa, he died in it was May. It was May of 2012. Yeah, I was looking to see how close Fayetteville was to my peoples. Okay, so the Sodder children. Why is that coming up for? Okay, now I gotta figure out why the hell. I'm so confused. I like to use uncovered.com to like get ideas for cases. I pulled up their stuff for Wisconsin, and maybe I should read more about the Sodder children before I get fully confused about why this is on Wisconsin's. But why? Possible retaliation for George. What? Fascist Italy? This case is crazy. Why? What? The Sicilian mafia is accused of taking these children in 1945. That's ridiculous. Why would they give a shit about kids in West Virginia? That's ridiculous. Parents probably did it. That's ugh. Well, they had 9 kids. That's not unsurprising given the time. 4 of the 9 kids escaped the fire. So 5 of the kids have never been found. The surviving Sauter family believe for the rest of their lives that the 5 missing children survived. I mean, I feel like this was covered on Unsolved Mysteries at some point. Something. This has been covered. They really think that the Sicilian mafia took the kid. Why would they take some of the kids and not all of them? Perhaps in retaliation for the father's outspoken criticism of the fascist government in his native Italy. That is a really weird conclusion to come to, and it makes me immediately suspicious of the parents. Maybe they wanted insurance money. Well, it's odd that there's no bodies. 9 kids in 1945. See, some of these people, when some kids go missing, they have a lot of kids. I wonder, could they not handle all these kids? Did they kill some of them? Did they get rid of some of them? Did they sell some of them? Like, what did they do? Odd. Whole thing is odd. But why is it on the unsolved? Like, this has nothing to do with Wisconsin. I will never I will never cover the Sauter children case. It's in West Virginia. Okay. Why it's on the uncovered website under Wisconsin's well-known missing cases and murders is beyond me. I don't know. I can't figure out the connection. My phone won't stop going off. Put it on focus mode. Yeah, not surprising. The violent crime in Wisconsin is a lot lower than what you see in. I wonder what it is for Indiana. It's nowhere near Michigan and Illinois. I don't even think it's as high as Ohio's. Let's see, Indiana. And I want to know too, like how much higher are the statistics than what is being reported? Because I think I mentioned it earlier. I know not everybody's cases are making it to the internet. That all depends on local agencies, counties, policies, whatever. It just varies. So it just depends. And how much are these people wanting to sit here and type out all this information? They should be doing it, but not everybody's doing it. So I want to know how many cold cases or just cases in general are out there that I don't know about. Wow. There was 1,700 homicides, well, over 1,700 homicides in Indiana between 1980 and 1980 and 2019. Around 10,000 of those have been solved. So there's a little over 7,000 cases, unsolved murders. That's good God. Make a true crime YouTube channel, I thought. That's so many cases. I want to cover them. Oh, wow. Just for Indiana alone, it's daunting to think about other states now. Oh, no. it's really disheartening too. Like, why are there so many people doing this? Stop hurting other people. It's so easy. It is so easy to not abuse your kids. It is so easy to not neglect them, to not kill them. And it's really, really easy to not kill other adults. I don't. And the violence in Indy has been increasing substantially. If you watched my video on Sam I just put out a couple days ago, the bullying and all that, I talk about how crazy the adults have been getting here in Indiana. I'm scared to get on the interstate. I mean, I don't drive, so if sometimes I've got doctor's appointments and stuff that's in Indy, so we have to go to Indy, but it's few and far between now. Because I've been switching doctors to closer to where I live at now, and ooh, I don't want to get shot at while I'm at a light, or just driving on the interstate. It I I shouldn't feel scared going down the road in my car, which I already feel that way because I'm scared about being in the car since our car wreck, but I shouldn't have to worry about somebody using a pew pew on me. It's just awful. And the guy that shot the deaf guy on I-65, I think it was at the beginning of May. It was like the end of April, beginning of May. He's 24. He has a rap sheet, but it's not like, it's like traffic infractions, stuff like that. I don't think it was anything like super serious. I think there was like a marijuana possession, but that's not an indicator that somebody's going to be violent. My God, like the guy that was driving that car, he had a passenger in the car, and she got mad at the deaf guy who flipped them the bird, got in front of them. And he was just going on about his business. Like, so what if he flipped you off? Get over it. But the girl that was in the car with the guy that was driving, she told him, go after him, chase him down. And that's what he did. And he shot up the man's car and he killed him. The guy got hit in the neck and he veered off the interstate. His car, I guess he wasn't wearing a seatbelt because he got ejected from the car. That is a horrible, horrible way to die. I can't imagine how terrified that guy was. It's just awful. And he was like 35, and the guy that shot him was 24, and he's the guy that shot him said, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I don't know what your intent was when you were shooting at somebody that flipped you off. Probably because you were driving like an asshole. I've told my husband anytime we go in and around Indy, because people, they are so rude on the interstate, even not on the interstate, just especially once you get closer to Indy. If you're in Noblesville, Carmel, Greenwood, anywhere in and around Indy, people are very entitled. They're very rude. They think they need to be where you were at, and they are rushing to get to wherever the hell they're going. There's no need for that. Like, don't you feel stressed out being that angry all the time? And how do you feel good about yourself screaming and yelling at people driving past you that have nothing to do with your life? Like, this person, you're never going to see them again. The odds of you seeing them again are pretty slim, unless you're like both in the same like rush hour traffic every day. You leave your jobs at the same times. You're in the same area, but like, people need to get a grip. 24 years old, and he took somebody's life like that, and now he's I would say most of the state is angry at this one guy, and rightfully so. So after he did what he did on the interstate, he gets off the interstate immediately, ditches his car, leaves it. He had also taken off, he had a couple bumper stickers like on the back and side windows of his SUV, and he took them off thinking that would help conceal his car, even though his car is on surveillance cameras that are on the interstate and like other places that were nearby that picked up his car going by. So they captured his license plate number. Dude's an idiot. Dude's an absolute idiot. And Indiana has the death penalty. I don't know if they're going to seek the death penalty for him. I don't think that deserves the death penalty. Something that stupid and that reckless, he should be in prison for the rest of his life. No parole, nothing like that. No, he should sit there and he should just sit there. I feel like, I don't know, stuff like that. You can probably learn from it after you did it. He's young, he's stupid. The chances of him reflecting on that, I don't know. I don't know him personally, so I don't know, but I would like to think that he would reflect on that sitting in prison versus dying in prison from the death penalty. Indiana isn't that great at dealing out the death penalty anyways. I believe in the death penalty, obviously. But it's only good for some cases. Not all cases. The Richard Allen case with Delphi, if what I have heard through the grapevine is true, I'm not going to cover that case. That is something else that I also consider to be low-hanging fruit in terms of trying to get viewership and subscribers to my channel. Since I'm a new channel, I'm not trying to pick popular cases. I can't maintain that, you know. I don't want to maintain it. That's also why I'm strictly sticking to stuff that's all in the Midwest. So any like breaking, missing persons case that's outside of the Midwest, murder cases, no, I'm not covering it. I don't have the time to sit here and cover new cases like that. There's just no way. And I don't want to. I want to shed light on cases that need to be talked about that really aren't getting talked about because people just want to consume all this new stuff, and it's great and it's not great at the same time. It's very much a double-edged sword. So I'm going a different route. I probably will talk about the Delphi case at some point, but it probably won't be until after it goes to trial because man, oh man, does it make my damn head hurt. I've never seen such a media circus, or just a circus in general. It's not even really a media circus anymore. It's just, it's a shit show, really. I don't know how else to put it. With this Odinism crap, okay, look, I'm into witchcraft, okay? I get that Odinism might be a thing over up in Delphi. I'm about an hour away from Delphi. I don't believe that it has anything to do with this case. If it does, I'll be proven wrong. But up until the facts really come out, I don't believe it. I really don't. It seems like a ploy from his defense, which is good. You know, I'll give it to him on that. He's got a good lawyer fighting for his client, but he's not good. What is going on is not good. It's just dragging the case out, and it's just annoying. And all I see on here specifically is just people, they're really buying into the Odinism stuff, and I cannot buy into it. I don't. It's very much like the 80s with the satanic panic stuff. It's meh. It's not interesting. It's boring. It's something I also consider, low-hanging fruit. It's just, man. But yeah, if what I've heard through the grapevine is true on the Delphi case, I don't. So with minors specifically, I don't think some cases all the details should be talked about, especially with Abby and Libby's case. If what I've heard is true, I don't think anything that went on should really be discussed in a public manner. I don't even know if I was her family, if I'd want to know, well, their families, if I'd want to know what happened to them exactly, because It's extremely brutal. It's extremely cruel. And people keep theorizing that it must have been multiple people. No. Okay. He has a gun. Those girls were best friends. They're not going to leave each other. They're only 13, 14 years old. It's, you got to think about the facts of the case. And people like to speculate, and I get it to some extent, but, let's stick to the facts. So I'll probably cover it after Richard Allen goes to trial, whenever the hell that is, because it's it's only going to get delayed more. I feel like he's sure getting his money's worth out of his defense attorney. I'll tell him that. And people think that the judge there is corrupt. I don't know. Maybe he is. Or she is. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl. Let me look up with Delphi. I live close enough too that I could drive up there to film at the bridge location, but kind of feels like it's in bad taste, I've seen other content creators that have gone up there and done that, and it gives me the ick. It's a lot different than, like, I don't know, just going to a location that has other meaning, but like this location is only tied to the death of or the deaths of two teenage girls. His mugshot kills me. Richard Allen's mugshot. Let me share my screen. Oh, I see I have comments now. Hi. I didn't mean to not look at them. I've been really busy looking at other stuff. Oh God. Okay. There it is. Okay. See, look at his face. That just looks like somebody that's guilty to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think he's the guy. A lot of people seem to not think that there's any evidence. Look at the, I'm sorry. This just screams like somebody that is performing. He is performing. This is an act. He's trying to get out of what he did. He has lost a lot of weight. My God. Wow. Wasn't he acting really weird when he first got to jail? I can't really remember. Yeah, there's just been so much going on with this case and nothing at the same time. Like it's so frustrating. Yeah. After more than 5 years, no answers. Yeah. He's a bad dude. I don't know how else to put it. It's very reasonable to think that he was able to control those two girls with just one gun. He didn't have to use it on them to hurt them or to make them do what he wanted them to do. Absolutely cruel and disgusting. And then he just sat in the town right under their noses. It's absolutely insane to me. But we'll see. We'll see when it goes to trial. I'll cover it then. The Monon High Bridge. Have you all seen the bridge? Let me share this. Wait, let me pull up have it pulled up before I share it. Yeah, I'll just share Google Pictures. Look at this. This is what the girls walked across. This is what they freaking walked across. I don't understand how anybody in the town was okay with this thing being there and their kids walking across it. I'm scared of heights. So there's no way. When I went to the bridge that John Dillinger was standing on, that railroad bridge, It's up pretty high. Well, not nearly like this. It's only like 30 feet up, if that. So to me, that's pretty high. But I was very scared. I was very scared. Because of my mobility issues, I was holding on to my husband's hand the whole time we were walking across the train trestle. But I was just so scared. I can't imagine just walking across this this bridge, letting my kid walk across that without me being there. There's no way. I have too much anxiety. You're gonna fall. What if the bridge falls apart? I don't know. I think they've redone it though since yeah. Oh, here, let me share this. I guess that's what the bridge looks like now. But that's not what it looked like when Abby and Libby went across it. I think because people were seeing that it was just an old railroad bridge. Oh, here's the memorial. I think, yeah, people were saying that it was an old railroad bridge. They were just kind of calling how unsafe it was. But yeah, here's a memorial nearby the bridge where the girls lost their lives. So sad. And, you know, really, I mean, for the girls' sakes, I really hope that Richard Allen is the guy. I think that he is, but this has gone on for way too long, and it's just ridiculous at this point. What a disgrace. Even if Richard Allen isn't the guy, the whole thing is just a disgrace at this point. And a lot of people are questioning if they're actually going to get the justice that they deserve. And I really question that too, because it's a circus. Circus. And Columbus, Ohio seems to have a lot going on in it. Columbus and Cincinnati, which I mean, those are pretty major cities. I guess it's not surprising. Missouri, Kansas, Iowa. Oh, you know what I haven't really looked at? Minnesota. See how stressed out I get looking at their cases. Just overwhelming. Oh, this is interesting right out the bat. Let's look at him. Brandon Swanson. So he goes missing after a car crash, and he called his parents, and then he's never seen or heard from again. Wow, 2008? Good God. Where did you go missing from, bud? He was 19 when he went missing. He was seen May 14th. Oh, wow. 2008. So his missing anniversary just came up. Oh, the Delphi Bridge reminds you of the movie Steamboat. Yeah. It looks like that. Good thing there's no trains running on it anymore. Train. On May the 13th. So he's a community college student. He had attended 2 parties with his friends. He left a party to go to another party that was a 40-minute drive away from where he was currently at, and that was the last time he was seen. He consumed alcohol, according to his friends, who attended both parties. But his friends say that he was not intoxicated from what they could see. That doesn't mean that he wasn't. Brandon left the party by midnight to drive back home by himself. Oh my God. So he was about midway between where he had left and his home when he got a call when his parents got a call at 1:45 in the morning that he crashed his Chevy into a small ditch and he was uninjured. He gave his parents the location of where he was at. Both of his parents drove to the area where Brandon provided, but they couldn't find him. They called his cell phone and asked if he could see their headlights and honk. He said he saw and heard nothing. So I'm going to say that he gave the wrong location of where he was at. Yeah, that's what his parents knew, that he had gone and given them the wrong directions. So Brandon was frustrated because he thought he had given them the right directions. He stayed on the phone with his mom and said that he would leave his car and start walking towards the lights that he could see in the distance, which he assumed was a town. Oh, specifically the town of Lind. Brandon stayed on the phone for 45 minutes. Wow. Then he screamed, "Oh shit," and that's when the call ended. Brandon's father called him back multiple times, and he never answered the phone again. Wow. Where? Okay, now I gotta... Wow. Okay. I'll pull up Google Maps. So I feel like looking up... yeah, it is tragic. Looking at locations and stuff, I feel like that really helps. Maria, Minnesota. So, Brandon's vehicle was found in a ditch in Taunton, 25 miles away from Lynn. Holy shit! Where? Taunton. Okay. Okay. This is Taunton. I don't even... Oh, there's Lynn down here. Wow. Okay. So he thought he was down here, and he was all... What? How the hell? I wonder... I'll have to look up and see where he was at before that. Because how are you supposed to be here and you end up here? What did he do? Get on the interstate and get turned around or something? That's crazy. His car ended up in a ditch around this area. That's such a small town. Holy crap. Huh. His car ends up there. That's crazy. Let's go back to this. Okay. Yeah, he had been drinking. And then he crashed his car. But his friends say that he wasn't visibly drunk, which if he crashed his car, yes, I'm gonna was intoxicated enough to crash his car. But the oh shit is that's interesting. A ground search was launched by helicopters. There's bloodhounds were brought into the investigation. The dogs followed a scent trail through an abandoned farm and past fields leading to a river. The water was around 15 feet at the time. Yeah, I'm going to say he was confused and went the wrong way. And if he hit his head when he crashed the car, then he probably had a concussion. And that's going to lead to more confusion and probably why he gave the wrong location to his parents. This is so sad. Brandon's case was handed over to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Investigations in 2010. Good God. Only 90 leads were reported by 2015. That's so sad. Oh, wow, that's his car. You don't just end up in a ditch like that when you're sober. Well, unless I guess the road conditions maybe, but eating. Yeah, things look different at night. And he's in an unfamiliar area, but I'm going to say that alcohol was a factor. I wonder. It doesn't say the location. Was it on 68? 68 runs right through there. Google Maps again. That's wow. Okay, I'm gonna write his name down. He looks like a sweet kid. It's very sad. He's been missing. He's been missing almost as long as he was alive. Brandon. See, a case like that sounds like he had an accident. That doesn't sound to me like outside of the car, obviously. It doesn't sound to me like somebody did anything to him, but maybe they did. I have no idea. Given the state that he was in, somebody could have found him and taken advantage of him, just like how I think that happened with Lauren Spear. Brandon. Wow. Marshall, Minnesota. Okay. That's so sad. Okay, well, I'll probably cover him at, yeah. Good looking kid. George Jensen. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Wisconsin just doesn't have, like, when you Chicago. You start looking. Wow. Yeah. Lots of cases. Why is there so many people missing? Louisville's got a lot. I might lump Louisville in here at some point. Just don't start with Chicago, never. Yeah. Well, I've already that second case I covered, Amanda Ham. I'll probably recover that because I kind of don't like how this is my second video, so I kind of just don't like it. I'll probably redo it at some point. But she was from it wasn't too far from Chicago. I want to say it was like an hour away. I might be wrong. Well, I don't even see it. Oh, here. This is where she was from, Clinton. That's the lake where she drowned her babies at. Stuff like that. You don't pick a man over your kids. Never. You can get a new man. You can never get new kids. I don't care if you did go on to birth more. You don't get the ones that you had back. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty daunting. Oh, Diamond and King, they've been missing for since 2015. Those cases are really interesting too. Death Portal in Chicago. Yeah, it's a Diamond went missing out of. I like how people think Gary is such a bad area, and like it used to be for sure, but I don't think that it is anymore because it's pretty much abandoned. There's still crime there, but it's not like how it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Nowhere near the same. But Diamond here, she has an intellectual disability, and she went missing with her nephew, and they've been missing since almost 10 years now. They've been missing for 9 years. Like, that's, where are they? You can't just disappear. And she needed help with stuff. It's not like she could just be by herself. And she took her nephew with her. And how old was he? They have I thought maybe they'd list his information too. Okay, they didn't. Oh no. 2 years old. Oh my God, 2 years old. Look at that sweet little face. Look at his sweet little face. King Walker. Oh, I feel for his mama. King loved to run around. His favorite game at the time was to make people play chase with him as he zipped around. Sounds like a typical 2-year-old. What a sweetie. King's mother had dropped him off so that she could attend a class in Chicago, and shortly after a nap, both Diamond and King slipped out of the house without their caretaker knowing. So they had a caretaker, and the caretaker wasn't taking care, basically. Wow. With an hour being gone, an hour went by before they were reported missing. Holy crap. Multiple eyewitness accounts placed Diamond and King across Gary, but they don't know if any of the sightings are actually viable. 4 days later, after disappearing, investigators began a large-scale search for nearby abandoned homes. There was a guy that was in Gary who was murdering SEX workers. I think it was like only SEX workers. I might be wrong. I have to look into that again. But he was dumping women, leaving them in abandoned houses. I think somebody did that up in Detroit too. I can't remember. I'll have to look into it. I think that happened in Cincinnati as well. Maybe it was Columbus. It's a lot of bad dudes out there. Now, whether or not they got trapped in an abandoned building isn't clear. I think it would be clear by now. It would be clear if they were trapped somewhere. So King was 2 when he disappeared, and he would be 11 now. His birthday. Wow, I'm coming in with all the May dates. So it's weird. It's just weird. It's May, and the last guy I looked at, his missing date was in May, and this little boy's birthday is May 11th, 2013. So he'd be 11. Look at that sweet little face. Oh. I'd like to think this kid is still alive. So sweet. Just looks really sweet and mischievous. There's Libby. February 13th. That's just... why people do these things? They can't control their own disgusting thoughts and urges. Let's see. You know what? Wow, this lady's been missing since 1968. Where are you, Joan? Yeah, people are crazy. But like, why are there so many? I feel like the U.S. has more crazy people in it, basically, to put it in a crude term. And it's, I mean, there's murderers everywhere, but I feel like it just happens more here. I don't know why. So Joan here, she got into an argument with her father on July 15th, 1968, and the following day she reportedly told her brother that she was leaving and never coming back. How old was she when she went missing? Oh my god. She was 22. What's with all these young people going missing? Her birthday's in January. My birthday's in January. Wow, she would be 78. She's been 54 years. That's such a long time to not know where the heck Joan went. Why did she get into an... See, this is a case where you're probably not going to find a lot of information, unfortunately. That's so sad. She left her home near St. Paul. There's so many people in that area. She could have ended up anywhere. It's just odd. Where did you go, Joan? This guy's been missing since 1963. Well, wonder. Yeah, okay. What? Oh, this is something else I want to feature. Indigenous Americans. They are not. Their cases are not featured enough. Last updated 2022. He's been missing since 2017. Mateo Dow. Doe? Dow? Redwood Falls, Minnesota. He was 25. He went missing in his own community. He was a determined young man. He attended a local high school and he later transferred to a charter school. He's a father of 2 daughters. He had pride in being a Native American, and he practiced what his ancestors had passed down to him, and he loved and respected the earth. Mateo's soul had pure love, and his disappearance has been heartbreaking to the community. He went missing around midnight on October 13th, 2017. He was last seen at his sister's apartment on the 100 block of South Minnesota Street. Not much is known about his disappearance. We know that he was last seen on Friday around midnight, and authorities captured a photo of him shortly after he went missing, wearing gray basketball shorts and a gray hoodie and black shoes. And his family and his friends the community, they've never heard of him again. His last Facebook post was a couple of days prior to when he went missing on October the 11th. His missing case is still active, but there's no leads or information. Wow. That's so sad. I'll write down his information. There's not a lot of information on him, so if I can't figure out anything else online about him, then I'll put him in as like a twofer, like two different one video. Also learn how to properly say his name so I don't say it incorrectly. I don't want to do that. I want to be as respectful as possible. He's missing from Redwood Falls, Minnesota. God. October 13th. I hope his girls are doing all right. So sad. Well, dang. Whoops. Okay. Let's look at older cases. Wow. Missing since 1944. I don't even know. He left his home to attend his first day of school. He left school to walk home for lunch and hasn't been seen since. Oh my God. He was 6 years old. That's so sad. These kids have been kidnapped and I don't know, they're someplace else. I wonder how common that is. I don't feel like I've heard of that too much. A mother disappears from Rochester, Minnesota. There's no information on her. Kids don't just go missing. They missing. Oh my God. Three brothers. Where's the third one at? I don't see a third child. Is this? No. Okay. That's sad. Okay. I think I could solve cold cases. But when there's no information, there's just no information. Look at Roy. Roy looks like he was fun. What happened to Roy? Is there any info on Roy? No, that's not who I clicked on. My computer's running slow all of a sudden. Okay. Roy was last seen driving his 1936 or, oh my gosh, 1963. The dyslexia coming in strong. He was last seen driving his Buick Electra, good God, which is also missing. That's interesting. There's a case in Indiana. It's south. It's like southwest, like down by Terre Haute. That's there's a lady that's missing, and her car is also missing. And I think it was a Firebird. So that's something that would be easily able to find. Oh, he was last seen a large sum of money. That's not good. That's not good. He went missing in 1967. My computer's really running slow. Probably I've been streaming on here for so long. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream here. Like I've done enough research, but probably enough rambling on here for now. There's so many people missing in Minnesota. And just old cases, way more than Indiana. Why are there so many freaking people missing in the 70s in Minnesota? That is alarming. I didn't realize this before. And I'm not familiar with Minnesota, so I don't know like how close all these locate. Like I'm seeing St. Paul on here several times. This is interesting. I wonder. I don't know if there's any connections with these all these dang cases. Why are there so many missing people that's unsolved in Minnesota? Oh no. Little boy goes missing from his summer home playing with his brother. Kevin and his brother were upstairs playing in their summer home, and their mother went outside briefly. When she returned, Kevin was gone. That makes no sense. His speech is limited and he's hearing impaired. Oh, this poor baby. He's been missing since 1982. I really hope the mom didn't do anything to him. You start doing especially when it comes to kids. Unfortunately, a lot of the time it's the parents that do it. It's not always the case. I want to give the parents the benefit of the doubt, but like when there's little information and like the kid just disappears. I can't remember what case it was I was looking up yesterday, but the mom, I don't remember what state it was in, but the mom had she had unalived the little boy. She had set fire to him. She had doused him with something, set him on fire in the bathroom upstairs. She had twin boys, by the way. She took the other twin outside before she did this to the other one and set him ablaze. She went outside and she was just standing calmly outside holding the other twin. It's so sickening. And she said that she didn't know how it started. Nothing. And she door to the bathroom. So she set her toddler on fire. She shut the bathroom door and the flames were so intense that it burned a hole through the floor of the bathroom. The bathroom was upstairs and his little body fell through and landed in like the dining room, whatever room it was that was below where the bathroom was at. And that's where firefighters found him. I can't think of anything more cruel than that. Hurting your child like that, or just in any way. 13-year-old disappears from her car while her father is inside the station. She may have had a seizure and been disoriented. She requires medication for allergies and has experienced seizures due to unknown causes. Oh my God. She went missing in 1989. Amy Pagnick? Pagnick? I'll write down her. That's... I hope her dad doesn't harbor any guilt going into that gas station. I'm sure people probably try to give him some grief about that. That's just sad. I think all the times growing up, being left in the gas station when your parent goes into the gas station. Lock your doors. I wonder, just how does that happen? How does somebody just take a kid out of a car like that? I don't understand how people can be so brazen. You gotta really be brazen to do that. August 5th, 1989. sad. I can't imagine going in to pay for gas and then walking back out, and my kid has been taken from the car. What the hell? Oh, that's interesting. Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Bernard Rusness. Rusness? See, another case where there's just hardly no information. A man and his wife disappeared, and their house was found ablaze. So either they were kidnapped, or they thought of the worst way possible to restart their lives. I'm going to go with something happened to them. A writer and journalist disappeared from Minnesota. Dave Thompson. Oh, Thompson. Thompson. There's no P? I'm used to Thompson being spelled with a P. So Dave was last seen standing on Highway 7 and Williston Road in Minnetonka. He had a backpack, no other belongings. After he was last seen, he had worked briefly in Casper, Wyoming in 1979. These older cases, there's just little to no information. 20-year-old man is mysteriously disappears after calling his mom for Mother's Day. Mother's Day. Can't talk. Well, this one seems like a no-brainer. A young woman last seen with her boyfriend who was later convicted for murder. Clearly not her murder. During her last shift at a Kmart, she informed her supervisor that she'd be leaving town. She'd been seen living with Patrick Thomas Walsh, who waited 4.5 months to report her missing. Oh, no. I'm writing Miss Cindy's name down. Cindy Brown. So Roseville. March 10th, 1980. Okay, I guess I'm going to leave my live stream up. I'm a liar. I don't know. But if you're watching, thank you. I know nobody's watching this right now. I'm just here hanging out. Anybody wants to stop by? See what the heck I'm up to. Lauren looks like fun. Look at Lauren. She was last seen in 1981. She walked out of her parents' home and she never came home again. She was a regular at the Cardinal Bar. That's all the information we have on her? Ain't no way. Let me look. How disappointing. I can't imagine too also like going missing and I don't know, just nobody giving a crap or just not missing facts or, you know. She's been missing since 1981 and she is still classified as endangered and missing. She's born in 1961. She was last wearing a white t-shirt, blue jeans, a short blue silk ski jacket, and oh no, that's it. She was suffering from tonsillitis at the time of her disappearance and was taking medication to treat the illness. She left her medicine behind. Yes. She probably met somebody. How old was she when she disappeared? She was 20. Coming back again to those young kids, young adults, people going missing. She was last seen at her parents' house. They give an address. An unknown individual picked her up at 6:15 p.m. and she left without saying anything to her parents and has never been seen or heard from again. She's 20? She's 20 years old and she's a regular patron at a bar. That's interesting. Okay. She left behind her personal belongings, including her medication, a vehicle, clothing, toothbrush. She did take her car keys and a checkbook, but she hasn't used her checking account since she disappeared. So, that's not a good sign. She was a vegetarian. She liked motorcycles, yoga, pool, and rock music. And she looks like a lot of fun. She looks like she liked to party. In 2002, police searched a vacant home of one of her former boyfriends looking for evidence in connection with her disappearance, and no significant evidence was recovered. Her disappearance remains unsolved and is being investigated as a possible homicide. Yeah, I would say so. That's wow. Poor Lauren. Lauren Gail Anderson. I'm gonna write her down too. Lauren Anderson. St. Louis Park, Minnesota. She went missing November 15th. 1981. Okay. Let's. There we go. She was murdered while she was at work. Tony Manette. Not a whole lot of information on her either. Sad. Okay, I'm gonna end the live stream before it just gets too long. But I'm gonna keep looking up. I'm gonna keep looking up cases. All right. Well, thank you to the few people that popped in and hung out with me while I was doing my research. I will keep plugging away until I get enough information for another video. And maybe I'll pop back on here again whenever I have free time to do so, which isn't very often. Usually, I have at least one kid in the house. I have 2 kids, so they're always in the house. All right. I'll catch you later.